Welcome everyone, this is Honest Restart, and this time we'll be talking about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and how the different Smash Ultimate characters that have been coming out have been continually breaking all of these fan rules. In other words, the expectations you may have for the DLC, the final 3 characters, may be subverted. So that's what we're focusing on today. Now before we jump into things, let me quickly talk about my social media. There's a Twitter page, a Discord community, a Patreon page, and a Twitch channel. If you are interested in any of that, check it all out, it's linked in the description below. And of course, if you like what you're seeing here, subscribe. Now with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it's become sort of like this celebration of gaming. If you make it into Super Smash Bros., it's almost like as if you've made it into the pantheon of gaming. And when I say you, I mean a particular gaming character. Smash Bros. Has become more than just Nintendo characters, it's also become a lot of really important, relevant third-party characters as well. But over time, because there's been so much excitement for the different characters and what we may see, there's always a lot of speculation going on, a lot of fan rules being built up, so we can sort of try and come up with some sort of process of elimination, that way we can try and sort of figure out who is next. But what has proven to be the case over the many years is that these fan rules don't really hold up. Pretty much all of them have been broken by this point. So let's talk about the very first character for Smash Ultimate that I feel started this trend of breaking fan rules, and that character is Ridley. Now for Super Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS, there was a lot of speculation that maybe Ridley could be added to the game. There's a lot of fan demand for Ridley in Smash Bros., but Ridley only came as a boss. And Sakurai, the director and creator of Smash Bros., had some thoughts on Ridley making it to Smash Bros. At the time. I definitely know that Ridley is a much anticipated name for fans, but if we made Ridley as a fighter, it wouldn't be Ridley any longer. It had to be shrunk down, or its wings reduced in size, or be unable to fly around freely. Instead of going through a lot of very convoluted hocus pocus to make Ridley a fighter, I figured it'd be better to keep Ridley as it currently is, the correct way, and have it feel like a truly threatening presence. So after Masahiro Sakurai said that, Ridley all of a sudden was now too big. Ridley was too big to be an actual character, suggesting that any character that is very large in size wouldn't be a great fit to be a fighter in Super Smash Bros. But fast forward to E3 2018, when we were getting the full blowout for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the final big reveal for the show was Ridley in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And with his reveal, his splash screen, they even made fun of the idea of Ridley being too big. Ridley hits the big time. Moving on to another character though that a lot of fans didn't think would happen due to fan rules is King K Rool. Now the thing about King K Rool, similar to Ridley, he was a antagonistic character, a kind of biggish character, a character as a long-time fan requested character, but never quite made it into the game. This character was a part of the Donkey Kong Country series and also Donkey Kong 64. This is a character made by Rare. Rare used to be a part of Nintendo. They used to make a whole bunch of games Nintendo, including the Donkey Kong series. But eventually Rare, which wasn't entirely owned by Nintendo, was bought out by Microsoft. And when this happened, Rare started making games for Nintendo, including Donkey Kong games. So since Rare left, we no longer saw King K Rool in Donkey Kong games for the most part. So while King K Rool was still technically a part of Nintendo, Nintendo still had rights to the character, it seemed that he was no longer relevant for current Nintendo games. And because of that association with Rare, and also because he doesn't seem to be relevant anymore, fans didn't think he'd be possible. Yet in Smash Ultimate we had a reveal highlighting the history of Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and King K Rool, revealing him to be playable in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And with the reveal of King K Rool, it then showed that a character doesn't have to be the most relevant character that's a part of the current modern games for Nintendo, and even if the character perhaps suggests some sort of partnership that no longer is a thing now, that doesn't mean the character can't be made playable at some point or another. Which sort of brings me to the next character that I think really made some waves and broke a few different rules. Banjo and Kazooie. So Banjo and Kazooie were added in the DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but not many people believed it would happen. Some people did, myself included. We were talking about it more than a year in advance, but many people didn't think it would be possible for a number of reasons, one of which having to do with the fact that Banjo and Kazooie were made by Rare, and they were owned by Rare, not Nintendo. Even though Banjo and Kazooie were considered to be Nintendo characters at one point or another, once Rare was bought out by Microsoft, they were no longer Nintendo characters, but rather Microsoft characters. Not to mention Banjo and Kazooie, according to many people, were irrelevant. Kind of like King K. Rool, but at least with King K. Rool, Nintendo still had the rights to the character, and it was still technically a part of some Nintendo games. Banjo and Kazooie did not have that. And on top of all of that, Banjo and Kazooie would be Microsoft characters. Why would Microsoft, a quote-unquote direct competitor to Nintendo, put a DLC character in a Nintendo game? So for those reasons, people just didn't think it'd be possible for Banjo and Kazooie to be in Smash Bros. But it happened, and it was amazing. Banjo and Kazooie were added to Super Smash Bros. Despite all the seeming odds that it could not happen. A Microsoft character was added to a Nintendo game, and a character that was no longer part of Nintendo was brought back, and that's pretty amazing. So after the reveals for Ridley and King K. Rool and Banjo and Kazooie, at this point I feel like many people started to believe that hey, a character doesn't necessarily have to be super relevant to be added to Smash Bros., but if they aren't relevant, they definitely have to be a Nintendo character. But then we got the reveal for Terry Bogard. Terry Bogard is the main character from Fatal Fury and King of Fighters, something published by SNK, something not known by many people, not a relevant franchise, and also not a part of Nintendo. By most people's perspectives, Terry Bogard is irrelevant. Yet, Terry Bogard was added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, an old retro character that not many people knew about, perhaps at one point or another would be considered iconic for some, but not many, and yet Terry was added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And I think this is done because, well, one, it was a deal between Nintendo and SNK, but also because Sakurai felt like this was a character that was very fun that some people definitely loved and is a part of gaming history, an important part of gaming history. So with the reveal of Terry, a character doesn't have to be a Nintendo fighter and can be quote-unquote irrelevant and still somehow make it in. At this point you might argue that if Ridley could get in, if Banjo and Kazooie could get in, if Terry could get in, then all bets are off, any character can be added to the DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But Ridley and King K. Rool were Nintendo characters added for the base roster of Smash Ultimate. Banjo and Kazooie and Terry were a part of these deals for the DLC. And looking at the Fighters Pass at this point in time, it was all third-party characters. Many people were assuming that the entire Fighters Pass would be third-party characters. I personally always thought that thinking was weird because why would there only be third-party characters added to a Nintendo fighting game? Why can't there be Nintendo characters added as DLC to a Nintendo fighting game? And then sure enough, for the final character for Fighters Pass Volume 1, we got Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now this character was a little controversial. It was another Fire Emblem character. No one thought we could see another Fire Emblem character added to a DLC where people believed it would only be third-party characters. So while Byleth was not loved by many, Byleth's inclusion did sort of suggest a few things. One, that Nintendo characters can be added to the DLC, which had become a fan rule that it can't for some, and that Nintendo could definitely go back and bring a character from a franchise that's already heavily involved with Smash Bros. With several playable characters. At this point in time, many would agree that pretty much everything would be super likely unless they were already involved with Smash Bros. In some way, such as assist trophies or spirits. But that's where things get interesting. With the first character for Fighters Pass Volume 2, we saw a spirit get an upgrade in Min Min from ARMS. And not only was Min Min an upgrade to a spirit, but also the first time we saw for the DLC a non-main character be added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now it can be said that in ARMS, the perspective is that all the ARMS characters are main characters, there isn't one specific one, which is why Min Min, a very popular character, was added in. But no matter how you spin it, Min Min proved that even spirits, characters that are already somewhat involved with Smash Bros. Ultimate, can still be added as playable characters later down the road. After all the characters we've already discussed, I'm sure many of you are thinking that there aren't really any rules. But there are still some who thought that some things wouldn't be possible. For example, Microsoft getting a second character for the DLC. After getting Banjo and Kazooie, many didn't think we would see another Microsoft character. And actually, after the reveal for Banjo and Kazooie, a lot of people were thinking that Steve, who was long rumored at the time, could no longer happen. But in Fighters Pass Volume 2, we saw the inclusion of Steve and Alex from Minecraft in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And what this told us is that, hey, there can be more than one character from a third-party publisher in the DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and this character can still be a super mainstream character that doesn't necessarily mesh with the other characters in Smash Bros. And this part isn't necessarily a fan rule, but this character was in the works for many years. We learned about this after the fact. So if you hear about a rumor or something that might be a leak of sorts, but we're not entirely sure, it's possible that it is, and even if it's not revealed in the near future, it could still happen later down the road. We don't know exactly what's going on with development because, well, it's in development, it's private information, things change, and until something is actually officially announced, you don't know exactly what's actually going on with it. So with that in mind, there have been other characters that have been rumored for Smash Bros., such as Crash, Ryu Hayabusa, Doomguy. Even though these characters haven't happened yet, that doesn't mean they can't happen. They may not be likely, they may be likely, it's hard to say right now, but the point is, they are still possible, and a whole bunch of other characters are still possible. And to close things out, let's talk about the latest reveal for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Sephiroth. Sephiroth from Final Fantasy. What's interesting about Sephiroth is that one, no one saw this character coming, and I think that's really cool. But also Sephiroth is an incredibly awesome character that isn't the main character from a third-party franchise. Sure, we've seen characters that aren't necessarily the main character from their respective franchises in Smash Bros., especially for the DLC, but those characters were already Nintendo characters. Looking at all the third-party characters that have been added in the DLC for Smash Ultimate, Joker, Hero, Terry, Steve and Alex, all of those characters are definitely the main characters for their respective franchises. Sephiroth is actually the antagonist from his particular game. He is the antagonist to Cloud, the main character from Final Fantasy VII. So with Sephiroth's reveal, it shows that even with the DLC, they could go back to an already existing third-party franchise, and it doesn't have to be a main character. The point I'm trying to make with this video is that there are a lot of possibilities, and whatever sort of expectations you may have or sort of fan rules you've placed, they may not hold true. There may be an exception coming down the road where there's another character added that sort of subverts your expectations that you did not expect to happen, because there really aren't too many rules. But that does not mean there aren't any rules. I do think there are some, just not very many. So one thing that I think should be pointed out is that in Smash Bros. Ultimate, we've seen a lot of indie characters get added to Smash Bros. As Mii costumes. Now, I'm not trying to say that an indie character can't be added as a playable character, but it does seem like they aren't super likely. With the DLC, there's some sort of deal in hand with a major publisher and Nintendo, or it's a Nintendo character. So with the DLC, so far with the final 3, I'm going to assume that that's going to hold true. Is it possible that some sort of mini, smaller character, an indie character, could be added in and it could be a surprise reveal at the end? Definitely possible, but I wouldn't say it's super likely. And there is one rule that I would say is kind of a hard rule for at least Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Here is a translated quote from Masahiro Sakurai. I get all these kinds of requests from abroad like, where's my beloved Iron Man? Or where's my beloved Goku? However, basically, Smash will only have content from video games in it. With this quote right here, I feel like it's pretty safe to say that for the remaining 3 characters for Fires Pass Volume 2, there will not be a non-gaming character added. Is it possible? Maybe, but I would say it's really, really unlikely. But who knows what will happen in the future with future Smash Bros. Games. In the beginning of this video, we quoted Masahiro Sakurai on his thoughts regarding Ridley for Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS becoming playable. He said he was too big. But in Smash Ultimate, a few years later, Ridley was added to Smash Bros. Ultimate. So while I'm not saying that in the next Smash Bros. We'll see Goku or Iron Man, but it's not impossible either. With the times, things can change. So we shall see what the future holds. But anyways everyone, those are my thoughts on the different Smash characters in Ultimate breaking fan rules. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. This is On Just Restart, thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care.